Pascal Siakam proved last season that he was back to his all-NBA form. He led the Raptors to the 5th seed after Fred VanVleet got injured and missed most of the games after the All-Star break, and was named to the All-NBA 3rd team. He elevated his game to another level, especially after All-Star break. But after a full summer of working out and training, I'm very excited to see Pascal get his revenge on his haters next season. Before I get into why Siakam's going to have an amazing season next year, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe so you know when new videos drop. Let's dive into it. When you look at his career since becoming a starter in 2018-19, the Tampa season seems like the outlier and not the norm. People refer to the 2020-2021 season as the down year for him. You could argue that it was because he was shooting on those Tampa rims, because he has been a 35% three-point shooter when the Raptors play in Toronto. That's league average. Last season was Pascal's best season yet. Siakam has shown that he was on an elite level, especially during that last 24 games of the season, basically that stretch of games after All-Star break. The Raptors went 16-8 over this time. He averaged 24 points per game, 8.3 rebounds a game, 5.5 assists a game. The only players to average over 24 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists on 55% true shooting were LeBron, Giannis, Luka, Jokic, and Pascal Siakam. The same players and DeJounte Murray were the only players in the top 30 in points, rebounds, and assists. So now I want to talk about what I did like from Pascal during that 24-game stretch after All-Star break. First, looking at his shooting from the floor, he had an effective field goal percentage of 52%, just average for the #1 scoring option that gets all the defense's attention. What's really unique about how he was scoring was that he was primarily doing it from inside the arc, mostly two-pointers. He took 15.6 two-point field goal attempts inside the three-point line and shot 52% on them. Players with similar efficiency and shot diet would be players like Ja Morant and DeJounte Murray. To put that 15.6 two-point field goal attempts in perspective, in the league, he took the 8th most two-pointers. Out of those top 8, he had the 5th best field goal percentage on those two-pointers at 52%. Checking exactly where he takes most of his shots from, he is very underrated at his ability to get into the paint. He takes most of his shot attempts from within 10 feet of the rim. At the rim, within 5 feet, he takes 6 field goal attempts and shoots 61% of the rim. However, his bread and butter is getting into the paint and scoring between 5 to 9 feet, close enough to make shots over smaller defenders and dangerous enough to attract double teams. He took 5.2 field goal attempts in that 5 to 9 feet range, which actually leads the league. He takes the most amount of shots in the league from those spots and shot 52% on it. He has improved his mid-range jump shot a ton over the last couple of years. Between 10 to 14 feet, he only takes under 2 shots a game and he shoots 42% on them though. Other players taking around that same 2 field goal attempts in the 10 to 14 feet range are Garland, who shot 35%, and Bam, who shot 48% on those same mid-range shots. The main shooting weakness Siakam had last season was his 3. He shot 33% on 3.3 attempts a game. He had good stretches of shooting from 3, but it wasn't consistent enough for him to rely on. So his 3-point frequency percentage is actually super low at 17. Comparatively, shooters on his same team, like Gary Trent Jr., has a 3-point frequency of 47%. Even players like, say, Precious Achiuwa, who's still developing his 3-ball, has a 3-point frequency of 38% compared to Siakam's 17. But if being money from everywhere else on the court is the norm for him, his hitting more threes would literally be putting his scoring averages into the 26-27 point per game range. Outside of strictly shooting, a huge part of his game is getting into the paint and attacking the rim. Primarily, this was through isolations and drives. He took the 6th most isolation possessions per game at 5.4. However, he was only in the 56th percentile for isolation scoring. A lot of that is when he just settles for long mid-range jump shots, because when he drives into the paint, he scores the 6th most points per game from drives in the league at 11 points per game. Since he's so good at scoring off drives, that's usually his go-to when he gets a mismatch in ISO. He takes the 9th most drives in the league at 17 per game, and out of those top 19 in drives, he has the lowest turnover percentage at 0.8%. Comparatively, guards like Darius Garland, who also drives about 20 times a game, has a turnover percentage of 6.4% compared to Siakam's 0.8%. Siakam's ball handling and playmaking IQ, especially when double teams hit him, made his isolation drives one of the best plays in the league. Another great thing about Siakam's drives is that he's really really good at generating contact. In the league, he takes the 10th most free throws on drives. Actually, overall, not just ISOs and drives, he's actually in the 85th percentile for fouls drawn per 75 possessions. So we talked about his shooting and his overall scoring abilities, but now I want to talk about my favorite aspect of Siakam's game, his defense. One of the reasons I'm a huge fan of Pascal is that even as the best player on his team, he works on defense like he's still fighting for minutes. He's 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan. That length combined with his activity and speed on defense is why no matter how many great defenders the Raptors have, Siakam's really the foundation of their team defense. The standard he sets for the team on defense keeps everyone accountable, active, and they move in sync. He's one of the most active defenders in the league. He's tied for 7th most loose balls recovered per game at 1 per game. When it comes to rebounding, he averages 8.5 rebounds a game and was tied for the 8th most defensive box outs at 1.9, which helps his team rebound while he's boxing out the opposing players. At the rim, he was 18th in the league in most shots contested in the restricted area. Sure, he's contesting a ton of shots at the rim and rebounding and boxing out and chasing loose balls. But where he's actually even more elite is recovering out to shooters at the 3-point line. In the era where the 3-point shot is king, Pascal is contesting 4.1 threes a game, which is tied for 9th most. What's even wilder is the most valued shot in today's game, the corner 3. Siakam contests the 3rd most corner 3s in the league. So Siakam's pretty much everywhere on defense. At the 3, at the rim, rebounding, in passing lanes. It's downright criminal how underrated Pascal's defense is. Now, there are definitely some things that Siakam needs to prove next season. The main weakness for Siakam is something I've already mentioned earlier, his 3-point shot. He shot 34% on 3 attempts a game, 3.3 attempts a game technically. The main area he struggled was pull-up threes, where he shot 25%. Yuck. On the other hand, on catch and shoot threes, he shot 37%. Well above league average. So it's not something that he can't figure out, it's just something he needs to get into rhythm for. Overall, his pull-up jump shot is what he needs to work on, as he had an effective field goal percentage of 38% on pull-up jump shots, which is not good. Another change he also needs to make is increasing the frequency of post-ups on offense. He leads the Raptors in post-up possessions at 2.2 per game. However, even though that's the most on the Raptors, compare 2.2 per game to Carmelo Anthony, a 38-year-old bench player who only played 24 minutes per game last season. Melo takes 2.8 post-ups a game. The reason why Siakam should be getting more post-up possessions is that even though he only averages 2.2 a game, he has the 10th best field goal percentage on post-ups in the league at 52%. So he's really effective at post-ups, but he just doesn't do it enough. I do have a video coming out soon about the Toronto Raptors, the small ball post-up strategy, so make sure you're subscribed so you know when that video drops. But some of the shooting woes for Siakam are due to the personnel on the Raptors. To me, the Raptors drafting Christian Koloko, a 7-foot center, and the development of the rest of the roster, such as Scotty, Precious, Gary, Trent, OG, that might be all that's needed for Siakam to have less of a burden in terms of the amount of attention defenses can throw at him. From a lot of the footage released from the Rico Hines runs, it seems like the supporting cast really has taken some sort of leap forward, and Siakam also looks in rhythm, his jump shot looks butter smooth, so I'm very excited for Siakam's next season because there's a chance that he becomes pretty much unguardable on offense and overwhelming on defense. He's one of the main reasons why I'm very high on the Toronto Raptors having a great season next year. And I can't wait to sit and watch Pascal Siakam's revenge season. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the big red button so you know when new videos drop, support the channel, and help get this video to 100 likes so YouTube recommends it to more P-Skills fans. And again, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.